Thank you for staying with us. The Forum of Zonal Coordinators of the National Association of Nigerian Students has assured Nigerians that it has not called for any protest or demonstrations across the country against the petrol price hike. They want the public to disregard calls for protest made by non-students who have ulterior motives. This was disclosed at a press conference in Abuja. Mira Mohammed reports.
The recent hike in fuel price across the country has raised some concerns among Nigerians, and several quarters have called for protests due to this to address this issue. This press conference from the Forum of Zonal Coordinators is to clarify NAN's stance on this issue. They urge students to consider engaging in constructive dialogue with stakeholders rather than protests, as it will be more effective and bring sustainable solutions.
Dialogue rather than confrontation will be adopted to solve the current crisis, because we are intellectual and not straight actions or political talks that can be hired by anyone or group of moneybags to destabilize the country.
The group reiterated its commitment to peaceful and constructive engagement, as no one will benefit from any activity that will destabilize the nation.
Constantly engaging the government for the betterment of our society, because we all acknowledge the hardship being faced by Nigerian students and the general public from all ramifications. So we are currently engaging the security agencies and the stakeholders in education and our patrons, as well as all those that are concerned for the students that are in the government, and as well the federal government itself, that is from the president. And so by so doing, we believe the needful will be done and the problem will be curtailed to the minimal level.
Mira Mohammed, TVC News, Abuja.
And still in Abuja, the House of Representatives says citizens should not panic over recent federal government's policy about the age requirement for admission into the university. The leadership of the 10th House gave the assurance at an interactive session with stakeholders in the education sector. National Assembly correspondent Bassa reports.
Nigeria's 6334 education model requires 6 years of primary education for children between 6 and 11 years, 3 years each for junior and senior secondary, and a minimum of 4 years at the tertiary institution. The implication of this policy is that a child must be at least 18 years old upon completion of primary and secondary school education in Nigeria. But over the years, schools, parents and guardians have found ways to fast-track their children's education. Now, the government fears the consequences of underage children across tertiary institutions. This meeting with the Minister of Education and the Association of Private School Owners is to better understand the government policy that has stirred controversy. The Speaker of the House of Representatives is represented here by the House Leader.
Nigerians do not need to panic. There is no problem at all. First, nothing has been said about WAEC and NECO in terms of the age for writing the exams.
For the ministry and other leading players in the sector, there is the need to ensure a strict implementation of the policy for the benefit of all.
We never said students by 18 or below 18 cannot do examinations. We never said that. But what we have said is that Nigerians and their parents should follow existing laws and policies.
For the children that are, let's say, 17 years and they have finished their SS3, so how are we going to handle those children? But now we have gotten it right.
Meanwhile, member representing Bassa, Jos North Federal Constituency of Plateau State, says the judgment of the appeal court affirming his victory is a commitment to upholding the will of the people.
I want to say this victory is a testament to the power of democracy and the rule of law. And I want to also express my heartfelt appreciation to the legal team that led to this able success.
The Court of Appeal upheld the judgment of the National Assembly Election Petition Tribunal, which declared Mr. Daniel Asama of the Labour Party as winner of the Federal Constituency seat in Plateau State.
The Wole Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism is asking media organizations across Nigeria to prioritize balanced representation of women in news reportage and management. Executive Director for the center, Mutarayo Alaka, said this while presenting a report on who leads the newsrooms and news in Nigeria. Details in this report.
A recent report from the Wole Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism has revealed that there are significant disparities in gender representation in Nigerian newsrooms. Titled, "Who Leads the Newsroom and the News?" the report highlights a huge gender gap between men and women in news management and the need to build the capacity of news media organizations.
In the last 6 years again, what we have tried to do is look at women for who they are and encourage women who we believe can rise to leadership positions.
According to the survey, 1 in 4 persons in the leadership of the newsrooms and news are women, with only 26.9% of management positions and 24.2% board roles occupied by women.
The face of news and the voice of news is predominantly male, and it's a power position, and nobody releases power or relinquishes power easily. People want to stay where they are. They want the status quo. So of course, to change boards, for instance, of news organizations to include more women is not something that happens overnight. To include somebody in management at the highest level that is female is not something that happens overnight. So we also understand that. So there are challenges of what's framework and what structure it requires.
There are several women in positions of authority and knowledge who do not get invited as sources for information, especially regarding their areas of expertise. I believe more of such women should be brought in. I know sometimes tracking them down can be difficult. A woman is less likely to be as responsive as a man for different reasons, really. However, we should also extend that olive branch in the sense that we should be more considerate and understanding.
Just like the media, the National Assembly, which is the highest law-making entity in Nigeria, reflects the female underrepresentation. Out of 109 senators, 3 are females, while the House of Representatives has 17 females from 360 seats.
I don't understand why it is that we have so few elected female politicians and officials. I think that the women need to own their positions much more than they do. There is this, sometimes I get this feeling that there's this sense of victimization which has somehow overshadowed everything else.
The Wole Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism hopes that with engagements like this, media organizations will commit to more inclusive practices that ensure women have equal opportunities to lead and shape the future of